it's Elizabeth from Elpis Astrology at elpisastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to do a video right up from the beginning of March to mid-March 2019. And I will include the new moon that will be in Pisces. And also for each individual sign, I will do what Uranus in Taurus means for you for the next 7 years. So let's start off with Mercury going retrograde. So Mercury will go retrograde at 29 degrees of Pisces on the 5th of March. So this is in conjunction with the new moon, which is the next day. And I'm speaking of Pacific Standard Time here. So with the Mercury retrograde in Pisces at the 29 degrees, I mentioned a little bit of this last month. It basically talks about a critical degree where things are really coming to a head. And the fact that the Mercury retrograde is happening at this point at 29 degrees really puts a big emphasis on Pisces, on a culmination, on kind of like a full moon effect where things are coming to a head. And in particular, it will affect the new moon that is also in Pisces the next day. Now, they don't conjunct each other, which means, you know, they're right beside each other. The Mercury retrograde at 29 degrees, and then the new moon will be at 15 degrees, Pisces 47 minutes. So that will happen on the 6th of March, the new moon in Pisces, and at 8:03 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will have Neptune, though, will be conjunct this new moon. And of course, in the new moon, you have the moon and the sun together. So this just adds a big emphasis of Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune in Pisces, of course, is in its home sign. So I would say that there's a number of ways this can go. With Neptune adding a real influence at this new moon in Pisces, it really is saying that there could be, and with the Mercury retrograde, there could be a lot of facts and information being left out around this new moon. And of course, the effects of the new moon can go on for at least 2 weeks. I would say that the best way to take this new moon would be to really delve into esoteric things, spiritual things of any sort, maybe even astrology. It could even involve, to some extent, the metaphysical world with regards to you reading things metaphysically. It could be shamanism as well, if you're into the shamanic arts. But I would take a lot of caution here on what you hear, on what you read. Because after the Mercury retrograde, certainly probably towards the beginning of April this year, the real facts will start coming out and the real information. So there may be a lot of twisting going on, or maybe just someone just has not got the full facts. So that's the other thing that can happen at this new moon with the Neptune influence, is that someone is keeping stuff from you. Kind of like that smoke and mirrors type effect, where I'm making it look a certain way because I want you to think a certain way, and maybe even to speak a certain way, but I'm holding back some facts from you. But certainly this is a high spiritual time for those that are involved in any kind of artistic pursuit, especially as it relates to writing music or making music. This could be a truly inspirational time, because Neptune could also be very inspiring. Certainly you're going to be thinking outside the box in terms of your dreams and things that inspire you and that are helping you feel that you can actually make this dream come true. It doesn't mean it's not going to come true, but we're going to have high hopes at this time. I would just say that with the Mercury retrograde in the mix here, I would say that just, you know, continue to put the facts together, continue to find out pieces of information that you need for this dream to come true. But at this point in March, I wouldn't be pulling a whole lot of triggers in terms of setting stuff in action. Maybe just little things here and there. But the most important thing is, as you put your plan together for your dream, to get the facts right. And if there's delays, that's okay. The delay means that the information is coming and it's not right here at this present time. Certainly, we can say that there will be delays, and even miscommunications. Mercury retrograde pretty well always bring something like that forward, but in this one it could be even more, especially as it regards to miscommunication and deception. It could even go as deep as that. But we'll certainly be feeling very dreamy. And speaking of dreamy, our dreams could actually be producing some very, very important things for us. So this would be a good month of March to pay attention to your dreams and what they're trying to tell you. We also have Mars sextiling the moon and the sun at this new moon. And so this is going to have us having all this energy to want to move forward with, pushing this dream forward for yourself. And again, I would use that energy to gather the facts and the information and put structure in place with regards to your dream, as opposed to really putting the dream in forward and manifesting stuff. So we have on the 6th of March, we have Uranus going into Taurus. Well, this is monumental. To have Uranus going into Taurus, the last time we had this was about 84 years ago. So certainly there are people that were born that are still alive around this time, but there wouldn't have been a whole lot happening directly to them that they would really remember. So this is kind of a once in a lifetime type of transit for all of us. Now, the main people, of course, that are going to be affected directly would obviously be those who are Taurus. And for this year of 2019, we're really looking at a few birthdays. Now, I'm going to look at Taurus because they're most affected, and then the opposite sign, which is Scorpio. So these are the birthdays for 2019 that are going to be more directly affected by this influence of Uranus in Taurus. So the birthdays from the 21st to the 27th of April, and then the Scorpio birthdays that have the opposition would be the 24th to the 30th of October for this year. Now, this is going to be about a 7-year stay for Uranus in Taurus. Now, Venus rules Taurus. So here we're talking about shaking up things with regards to our money. So this is from a collective standpoint for everybody, but also for us individually. Our values, what do we value? And love. What is our view of love in our life? So certainly for Taurus, in those birthdays that I mentioned, you may have an electrifying new love come into your life that probably is going to be very steady for you. You may even have more than one. This 7-year effect for you. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. But this is what's called fixed earth energy. So it takes that very electrifying, unexpected, lightning bolt type energy of Uranus and puts it into earth. So it literally earths it, very much like how electricity works. And it slows it down. So for this 7-year period, certainly, the tortoise, as opposed to the hare, will have much more effect. So certainly reflecting on things and then moving forward instead of trying to directly move forward is a better sort of trait or traits to have with regards to dealing with this energy. It does suggest possible scientific breakthroughs, especially as it regards our land. Okay, so that's our earth, the food that's grown on that land, and of course our banking and money systems. It could also, be a time when there are land disputes across the whole world. And of course, there's going to be more concern for Mother Earth, with some really direct, unique, outside the box actions to help heal our Earth. So I'm going to go through each of the signs, starting with Aries. And what I'd like you to do is, if you know your rising sign, I'd like you to read for that first. And the reason I say that is because when you read for your rising sign, it reads for the different houses, which represent the different areas of your life, more accurately. But your sun sign is important too, because at the very least, that's where your sun resides, which is your inner essence. So when we look at Aries, which obviously represents your freedom, you're going to want to break free. It's as simple as that. You're going to want your freedom, especially as it regards your the economic systems that you're dealing with. Your inner values may change at this time. You may want to free yourself from some of your possessions or some of the things that you're attached to that you've had to deal with that you don't want to deal with anymore. You want to overthrow those and let those go. But certainly you may decide this is a time of letting go of all those things that may no longer mean value to you. And this could actually be literally your possessions, where you downsize or you get rid of a lot of things that just don't mean anything to you anymore. Taurus, of course, it's in your first house, which is all about you. And either earlier or later, this Uranus will be hitting your ascendant as well. So if you've got your personal chart, that would be great for you to look at. We're really looking at the degrees from 0 degrees all the way through 6 degrees of Taurus. So look to see where those degrees are in your, and certainly if it's your ascendant, this year you will have Uranus hit that, and this is a once in a lifetime major breakthrough time. And don't fear this. I think the thing that the emphasis I want to make about Uranus being in Taurus, especially as Uranus would be affecting those Taurians, is that this is a time for you to have great change that you've been wishing for, maybe for your whole life, where you really want to turn your life around so it has more meaning for you, right? So you're going to be breaking through what's held you back. Now, the little twist of all this with Uranus is it helps you and gives you lots of signs everywhere about, here, you can break through by doing this, you can break through by doing that. But the key here is, if you don't pay attention to those signs, where it's easy for you to break free of things, you'll have the universe come in and lend you a hand and help you break free of them. And some of those breakthrough events may not at the time feel great and may be unexpected and upsetting, but long term it's to put you where you want to be, where you really feel more free and more able to express your individual self. So bear that in mind. Certainly, these are going to be unexpected, surprising things. I suppose the motto is expect the unexpected when it comes to Uranus, especially as I apply it to Taurus. We look at Gemini, it's the 12th house, and this is you confronting your inner self. You may find out things that have been kept from you, either by others or by yourself. You just may have been avoiding certain truths that are now going to become very clear to you, and you will have to deal with them in some way. Now, the thing about the 12th house is that, these are hidden things. So you could have, for some reason, unexpectedly have to deal with things like hospitals, institutions, like jails and things like that. Not that you will necessarily be going there, but that you will have to, for some reason, unexpectedly deal with them. But certainly you will have a lot of things revealed to you that up to now have been hidden. You may also take up any kind of metaphysical thing yourself. I would say a yoga retreat would be awesome at this time. You may decide to take up astrology or tarot, that sort of thing, where you just start looking at all those mystical things that are around in life as they start having more attraction and meaning for you. When we look at Cancer, it's the 11th house. This is hopes and wishes. It's the groups that you're in as well as your friends. So it can also increase any kind of electronic communication, and obviously something like that would be the internet. So you may have more interactions on that, or even Instagram, any of those types of activities. Now, what's interesting is that this is kind of a favorable placement for Cancers, because Uranus is associated with the 11th house. So generally speaking, these will be positive things where unexpectedly some of your hopes and wishes may come true. unexpectedly. You may just decide you don't want to hang around a group anymore of people, or you change up all your friends. You're exposed to things that have more attraction for you. Leo, it's your 10th house. And generally speaking, the 10th house is your house of career. It's also the goals that you put together to reach your career. So your career is going to be affected by choice or by outward events. So you have made, now a lot of us will be feeling these things prior to March, for instance. I mean, Uranus is a very powerful planet. So you may have already been getting some inklings of things at work were unexpected, and maybe some jarring stuff that you just don't like. And you've already started that thought process of these unexpected things happening that don't make you feel good, and that are basically saying to you, maybe I should change my career path. Or things that held your interest don't hold your interest anymore in your career. And you're thinking, wow, I spent all this time and energy on this situation that I'm in for my career, and it doesn't hold any interest for me. And I have all these annoying things happening around me. These are little indications that, hey, maybe I should change my career. And certainly I sympathize with those who have put, say, a lot of money and time into degrees, certifications, and literal time into a career. And then they're saying, I'm going to let all this go. Well, yeah, you may actually do this. Now, this is a 7-year influence, and you may just not right today or early March decide to do that. But you'll have this creeping effect where you'll end up thinking, I need to change where I'm at. So when we look at Virgo, we're looking at the 9th house. And the 9th house, this could be opportunities come in to open up your mind to sort of different or bigger vistas that you just haven't seen before. And you could have this happening through things like travel, foreign travel. You could enter in some kind of educational system, especially higher education, where your mind is just opened up where it wasn't before. You may even travel and or change residence. This might be the year where you say, I'm just going to travel around the world. I'm taking a hiatus or a sabbatical. I need to stop what I'm doing to, discover the world and maybe discover a little bit more about myself. But you could even change residence. You may decide to go into something more science related. Uranus kind of rules that type of thing. And the 9th house can be education. So you may just take up a big interest in science now, where you may not have had that before. And for those really enlightened and lucky folks, you could actually make some scientific discoveries to share with all of us in this world. The 8th house is what Libra has for Uranus. So you could have unexpected events that revolve around your shared resources. So these could be 401ks, they could be a shared bank account, pensions, investments of any sort that you share. It can also be an inheritance. So at this time, some of you will actually inherit money at this time. And this will be totally unexpected, by the way. So it could be, Aunt Molly that you kind of met once in your childhood decides to leave you something of great value. It could also indicate a new sexual relationship, but with Uranus being very electric and sparks here and there, whether it will last or not, we'll have to see and have the test of time put to it. But you could just be wrapped up in something very electric, very appealing, and very sexual over these next few years. So that's for Libra. So for Scorpio, it's your 7th house. And the 7th house rules relationships where you sign a contract. So typically our mind always goes to a marriage, but it can be a business partnership too, or any partnership where you sign some kind of document, your lawyer, some therapist that you may be using. But Uranus in the 7th house, really, generally speaking, can indicate a breakup in either a business or a romantic relationship. At the very least, with Uranus here in your 7th house, there has to be some big changes in your relationships in order for you to feel an individual yourself and express who you are. So that's going to be sort of the impetus behind it. You're not expressing yourself or being yourself in your partnerships, or you're not achieving, say, in a business partnership, what you want in a business. Maybe you want more, maybe you want something different. So it could involve you leaving the partnership or instituting major changes so that you are more individually represented, either in a marriage or in the business partnership. But this certainly could be a time when a romantic relationship may end. Now, just as soon as that, you could also have this relation of a new relationship come in. That's exciting and somehow appeals to who you are. For Sagittarius, it's your 6th house. Now, the 6th house is a house where, you know, it's your dietary type things and how you take care of yourself day to day. So now we're talking about your diet and your exercise regimens. But it also talks about, what do you do day to day? Well, most of us do a job day to day. So that's why we also have your day-to-day job involved here. So for some, you're going to want to break free of some of these things. A positive way of using Uranus in your 6th house would be to unexpectedly make some major changes, say in your diet, and maybe also in your exercise regime, where you become determined to take up a new exercise regime. You could also have somebody just come in, maybe even watching YouTube, the internet, or someone you talk to, introduce a new way of eating that could actually help heal you. Or an exercise regimen you look at really appeals to you and you decide to take it up. Or you could just shake up your day-to-day job, either change it completely, or you could be required to, say, take on Uranian type things, which would be maybe learning more about electrical types of things. Maybe computers will be coming more into focus for you. Any of the things we use, like Instagram, or or putting together maybe a website for your company. All those may come up where new skills have to be added to your resume with regards to your day-to-day job. When we look at Capricorn, it's your 5th house. So with Uranus, exciting Uranus here, you could have an exciting time, especially as it comes to romance and just having fun. So the next 7 years for you could be really, revolving around this new romance, as well as you making this decision that you just want to have more fun in your life. But the 5th house also rules children. So it could be something like an unexpected pregnancy. It could be unexpectedly, maybe a child comes back to live with you, or something unexpected happens around a child. And I'm not talking about negative things here necessarily, just something that requires you to now pay attention to the child. It's certainly great for any creative pursuits. Uranus is going to give you the ability to literally think outside the box. So these next 7 years, if you're either in a creative profession or want to get into a creative profession, these next 7 years could be very productive for you. Take the chance to delve into creativity. All right, that's for Capricorn. For Aquarius, it's your 4th house of the home. Generally speaking, it's your home. So you could have some kind of unexpected thing happen or things happen in your home over the next few years. Now, it could result in a number of things happening. Say, for instance, your parents for some reason need your help. In particular, your mother. The mother is associated with this house, the 4th house. But your parents could, for some reason, unexpectedly require more from you, or something you need to take care of. Just on the surface level, it means changing up your home. You could leave the home you're in unexpectedly, or you could unexpectedly, say, come into some money and decide to redo some of your home, where you change up the home. But it can also be a time of changes in the deep unconscious mind. All right? And the mother may could be involved in some of this mix, where maybe some of your habits start coming to the surface from your past that your mother influenced, that you recognize and you decide to change. It could also mean something as simple as you don't work in an office anymore and you now set up in your home, or vice versa. But your home is going to be somehow involved over the next 7 years with unexpected things happening in it. When we look at Pisces, it's your third house. Third house is basically communications and also your general neighborhood. So there's going to be a lot of comings and goings in your general neighborhood. You may meet a lot of new people. People may move in, move out. You may change your neighborhood, for instance, or your neighborhood may be transformed around you as well. But this will be all unexpected. Certainly, because the third house rules communications, over the next 7 years, you're going to have a lot of unexpected communications come your way that mean something to you, that are going to be unusual, but exciting. So you could be involved in some really exciting exchanges of communications that come from your thoughts that are important. They now mean something. And this could affect you in your day-to-day work and your interactions with people. So obviously this is your job as well. But it does relate to ideas, new ideas, exciting things to think about, and your interactions day-to-day with folks. So your neighbors and friends, for some reason, just could become more important to you with regards to this exchange of unique ideas and thinking outside the box. Maybe you will work with your neighbors to literally change your neighborhood for the better. Because, you know, Uranus does rule Aquarius, which is all about humankind, right? And us all being equal and doing the best for all of mankind. So you could be involved in something humanitarian with regards to your neighbors and thinking outside the box. All right, well, that ties up Uranus. If you do want a little bit more information about your sign, just leave me a comment and a little detail about your chart. That helps me, and I can leave some comments for you as to what more things I think might be affected by you. Like if you've got a certain planet that's in the house that I spoke about, that would be important in terms of coloring the influence of Uranus there. On the 15th, 16th of March, we have a square happening, and that is between Jupiter in Sagittarius and a Mercury retrograde in Pisces. They're both at 22 degrees. Now, a square typically suggests some kind of challenge in our life. You know, it's rare that Jupiter puts really bad luck in our way, even with a square. But because this is a Mercury retrograde, I guess I could say that although this could be some positive things come your way of a negative situation, I would say that during this 15th, 16th of March, you know, you may overlook some details and be seeing this really optimistic, inspiring vision in front of you. And that's all you can see is this. It's just kind of almost blinding you. Oh my God, this is fabulous. This is yes, this is the dream. And hold on to that dream. But the thing is, the key with this transit is you may overlook some details that are actually really important. So as difficult as it might be around the 15th, 16th of March with regards to your dreams, try to really put some effort into digging up the facts and hidden information that may be very, very important for you long term to put this dream into place. I can't emphasize that more strongly. There may even be, for those more devious people, there may be people keeping stuff from you, you know? So I would say your intuition is going to be operating really strongly at this time. So if you've got a feeling that, hey, you know, I think I need to look into that detail a bit more, look into the detail. If you think someone's maybe lying to you, they probably are. So then ask more questions or do your own digging. Do your own research and get the facts down yourself. So as Mercury will go direct in April time period, the truth that's represented by Jupiter will come out. So know that early April, you'll start seeing you know, things coming out of the woodwork that were hidden from you. So have a little bit of, I would say this aspect says, have a little bit of patience here, and don't be afraid to ask questions, or even if it just absolutely 100% seems to be the truth, but something is niggling you, go and look at the facts and the details. So take care of the details, and the big picture of what you dream about and what you want to manifest will come about. All right, so it's key to have your dream, but bigger around March, to make sure you have the details so you don't get tripped up later on, say in April, when this important detail comes to light that you needed to do something with that you didn't take care of. Well, that is it for me for the first half of March. Please follow me on Instagram and sign up for my Facebook. I put posts on there every day, and I would be delighted to do your chart, of course. Go to my website, elvisastrology.com, and go to my services tab. Take care, everybody.